So today we're diving into the dark and beautiful world of Oscar Wilde's incredible novel, The Picture of Dorian Gray. It all hinges on this one chilling idea. What if you could stay young and perfect forever? The catch? A painting of you ages and grows hideous with every single bad thing you do.
And it all kicks off with this one desperate wish. He says it in a moment of pure vanity and panic. And just like that, a terrible bargain is struck. This single sentence, you guys, is the engine that drives this entire horrifying story. All right, so let's set the scene. Imagine Victorian London. You've got these fancy art studios and decadent parties, but also these dark, foggy alleyways. It's the perfect backdrop for our story, where we meet three men whose lives are about to get tangled up in a really, really tragic way. First up are key players. You've got Dorian Gray himself. He's incredibly handsome and, at the start, totally innocent. A blank slate, really. Then there's Basil Hallward, the artist, who is just completely captivated by him. And then you have Lord Henry. Think of him as the devil on Dorian's shoulder, whispering all these dangerous ideas about living only for pleasure. So while Basil is just trying to finish his masterpiece, Lord Henry is over there planting these toxic ideas in Dorian's head. He calls it the new hedonism, which is just a fancy way of saying, do whatever feels good, who cares about morals? And for Dorian, the thought that his own good looks won't last forever suddenly becomes the most terrifying thing in the world. And that's it. That is the moment everything changes. He's staring at this perfect painting of himself, and he's just hit with this wave of dread. He realizes the painting will stay young forever while he gets old and ugly. And right then and there, he makes that terrible wish. He basically says he would give his very soul to switch places with the portrait. So, did the wish actually come true? Well, Dorian doesn't have to wait long to find out. His first real test of character comes along pretty quickly, and with it, the first horrifying proof that his soul is no longer his. And as it often does, it all starts with love. Dorian falls head over heels for a young actress named Sybil Vane. He's captivated by her talent on stage, but the moment her real love for him causes her to have one bad performance, he is shockingly cruel and just casts her aside. Heartbroken, she takes her own life. And when Dorian gets home, he looks at the portrait, and there it is, the very first change. A nasty, cruel sneer has twisted its perfect lips. Now, his reaction is what's truly chilling. For a split second, there's horror, but that is very quickly replaced by a dark curiosity and, believe it or not, relief. He realizes it's real. He can do anything he wants, and the painting will take the hit. His own face will remain a perfect, youthful mask. So what does he do? Does he try to make things right? Nope. He doubles down. He takes this monstrous gift and runs with it. He drags the painting up to an old, locked room at the top of his house, hides it away, and dives headfirst into a secret life of pleasure and corruption. Okay, so let's fast forward. Decades pass. Seriously, years and years go by, and Dorian doesn't age a single day. He's still the talk of the town, this perfect-looking gentleman. But behind the scenes, dark rumors are swirling around him. And eventually, the man who started it all comes looking for answers. On a dark, stormy night, Basil Hallward finally confronts Dorian. He's heard these awful stories about the people Dorian has ruined, and he refuses to believe them. He pleads with Dorian, saying, I must see your soul to know the truth. And Dorian, in a moment of twisted, cruel pride, decides to grant his wish. He leads Basil up to that locked room, pulls back the curtain, and Basil sees his own masterpiece. Only now it's something monstrous. The face on the canvas is corrupted, dripping with evil, aged by sin. Basil is utterly horrified because he's not just looking at a ruined painting, he's staring at the true face of Dorian's soul. In that moment, something in Dorian just snaps. He blames Basil. He blames the artist for creating this mirror to his depravity. And in a fit of uncontrollable rage, he grabs a knife and kills him. He murders his old friend, the very man who once worshipped his beauty. So now he's a murderer. He has crossed a line there's absolutely no coming back from. But covering up a crime is one thing. Silencing your conscience is something else entirely. The ghosts of his past aren't just on the canvas anymore. They're real. They're out in the world, and they are coming for him. To get rid of the body,
Dorian blackmails an old acquaintance, a scientist named Alan Campbell. He forces him to use his chemical knowledge to dissolve the corpse. The horrific task completely breaks Campbell, who later takes his own life. Dorian's corruption, you see, is like a plague now, destroying everyone it touches.
And then, another ghost appears. It's James Vane, Sybil's brother. He's been hunting for years for the man who drove his sister to suicide. He finally tracks Dorian down. But just as he's about to get his revenge, Dorian uses his curse as a defense. He just says, "Look at me. How can I be the man from 18 years ago?" And it works. His eternally youthful face, his curse, actually saves his life. Even though he escaped, Dorian is now a complete wreck. He's haunted, paranoid, and terrified. He's trapped in the prison of his own perfect face. He decides he has to change, that he has to atone for what he's done. But the big question is, can a soul that's this far gone ever truly be made clean again?
After James Vane is accidentally killed, removing the last real threat, Dorian feels something that might be guilt. He tries to perform a good deed. He spares a young country girl he was planning to corrupt. He rushes back to the locked room, desperately hoping this one act has started to heal the hideous portrait.
But when he looks at the painting, there's no improvement. In fact, it's gotten worse. There's a new line of cunning hypocrisy etched on its face. The portrait can't be tricked. It knows his good deed wasn't from a place of virtue. It was all about vanity and a selfish desire to fix his own ugly reflection.
And that's the final straw. All his hope just shatters. He realizes he's beyond redemption. He decides the portrait, this physical record of his soul, his conscience, is the true enemy. If he can just destroy it, he thinks, maybe, just maybe, he can finally be free. He grabs the knife, the very same knife he used to murder Basil. In a final, desperate act of rage against himself, he lunges forward and stabs the painting, hoping to kill the monstrous soul it represents once and for all. His servants hear a horrifying crash and a scream. When they finally break into the room, they find the portrait of their master hanging on the wall, returned to its original exquisite beauty. And on the floor lies the body of a withered, hideous old man with a knife in his heart. It's only by the rings on his fingers that they recognize him as Dorian Gray. By trying to destroy his soul, he only succeeded in killing his body.
The novel's chilling conclusion is crystal clear. You can't separate yourself from your actions. Sins have to be paid for, and it leaves us with this haunting question to think about. If a secret life leaves no visible mark on your face, does it still rot you from the inside out? What mirror, in the end, really shows us who we are?